Game one of their Eastern Conference semifinals matchup. When asked how his ankle was feeling, Butler added, like a rolled ankle. Heat coach Eric Spoelstra didn't have any more update on Butler following the game. Meanwhile, on the Knicks side, Jalen Brunson took the blame for the L.
Yeah, key moments in the game where we need to finish strong, be strong, and that starts with me. Today I was horrific. Just very uncharacteristic by me, and this one's on me, and I gotta be better, and we'll go from there.
All right, Julius Randle, who's dealing with an ankle and couldn't go in game one, is up in the air for his game two as well. Stephen A., are your Knicks in trouble?
I believe so, from the standpoint that Julius Randle has to play, and they've got to win game two. They're not beating Miami in four out of five if they fall 0-2 on their home court. We're 2 games back in Miami, games 3 and 4. You're not beating the Miami Heat if you fall down in this series 0-2. I recognize that, even though I'm a diehard Knicks fan. We understand what it is. They've got to do better. R.J. Barrett came out strong at the start and then really, really tailed off. The combination of him, Brunson, and Barrett shot 1 of 16 from three-point range. That is beyond atrocious. They just weren't effective. Just shot 20% from three-point range for the game. The thing that shocked me and that scared the living hell out of me about the Miami Heat is not just Jimmy Butler. He had 25 and 11. Would have had more if he didn't hurt his ankle. We all know this. It's the fact that, damn, Gabe Vincent dropped 20. He hit about 5 threes. Kyle Lowry about 3 threes. Kevin Love hit a couple of threes. Strus hit a couple of threes. I'm like, damn, everybody hitting threes. Now, this is not the Miami Heat team that I saw during the regular season. They're not a Miami Heat team that was considered last in offensive, in points and offensive efficiency, rather, for this regular season. This is not. I understand the Miami Heat that we saw against the Milwaukee Bucks, number 1 in points, field goal percentage, efficiency, 3-point percentage. I get it. I understand, but I thought that was an aberration. I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know what water they're drinking. I don't know what's going on and stuff. I mean, I understand it. But I'm getting very concerned because I didn't see this. These dudes are hitting shots all over the damn place. And that's without Tyler Hero in the lineup with his broken hand. And that's without Victor Oladipo. We wish him nothing but the best, by the way. Good dude. We certainly wish him nothing but restored health or whatever. But I'm just saying, I'm looking at Miami and I'm like, where the hell is the shooting coming from? Everybody's lamenting Bam Adebayo. He got to do more. He didn't have to do more. A couple of plays, he had a spin move in the paint, laid it in. That's all he needed to do. Outside of that, he kicking it to these dudes. And is there a better outlet pass thrower than Kevin Love? 2 hands, just throwing it better than most quarterbacks throw damn passes in the National Football League. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I don't understand it. I can't believe this has happened. Knicks going to have to amp it up defensively. Miami shot 42% from the field, 42.9 to be exact. From the field and 33% for three-point range. And still won the damn game. I'm just looking at them right now. I will admit, I'm concerned, but it's still orange and blue skies. Just one game. They got game 2 at the Garden, okay? And then you got to go to South Beach, and you got to take one of these games, okay? That's what you got to do. But if Miami keeps shooting like this, I'm talking about the jump shots from these dudes, we in trouble. I'll say that.
All right, Stephen A. Aaron Rodgers was sitting courtside at the game yesterday. So spell it with me. R-E-L-A.
Relax.
Okay. Just take a deep break. Now, listen, you are absolutely right about the Miami Heat's ability to shoot the three-point shot, right? During the regular season, 27th, I believe, in three-point shooter percentage. After the All-Star break, they did shoot 37% to finish out the regular season. Came into the series last night shooting 45%, and then they hit 33% last night. But the number that sticks in my side, as I was part of the MSG Network's broadcast, 20% from threes for he is a dude that's cut from a different kind of cloth. If he is significantly slowed by this ankle sprain, like that, it becomes a completely different conversation when I look at the rest of this series. I also just think down the stretch yesterday, you got to give the Heat their credit in terms of veterans. Beyond the three-point shooting, Kyle Lowry was credited with 4 blocks yesterday, which essentially were strips when he came down on a basketball as Knicks players were attacking for layups in the paint, right?
Don't
he
say
was credited
Knicks
with
players.
4 blocks.
It was that damn Josh Hart that kept driving towards him, knowing you going to get stripped by him.
It was also RJ too. If we're gonna give blame, we gotta give it evenly. It was RJ too. Anywho, 4 blocks technically and 1 steal. So down the stretch in what is considered clutch time, even though I don't think the game was close enough, the Heat just outsmarted the Knicks flat out. It was not their day, but I 100% believe when Jalen Brunson says that he's going to bounce back, he means that. Now, it's going to be imperative that Knicks players hit shots so that Jalen can have the space to work. You almost saw the mini wall that you see the Heat play against a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo in terms of keeping Jalen contained. So I'm not overly worried. Julius is going to get healthy. To me, just off depth alone, while Jimmy Butler is, yes, the best player on the floor if he's healthy in this series, the Knicks have the depth. They've been playing good basketball. I think they struggled from behind the three-point line last night, and to me, that was a large story of the game, Perk.
You know what? I'm not concerned at all. And I don't believe that the Knicks are in trouble. I just believe that they got punched in the mouth in the second half because the Knicks won the first half of basketball. So they had a bad half of basketball and the Heat went on the run. So what? But here's the thing, right?
He was a first ballot Hall of Famer.
For sure.
Today, he's one of the 10 greatest players of all time. And I don't think that's overstating the impact of what the last 2 years have done. That said, as we continue to debate that, he goes on. And now we get it at least one more time in our lives, something that I don't think any of us, well, we certainly weren't assured we would ever see again after they met in the finals 4 straight years. We get Steph Curry versus LeBron James starting tomorrow. The Warriors have home court advantage. It's a 6-7 matchup, but it feels like Ali Frazier. Talk to me, Monica. Give me the thumbnail on the series.
Oh, all right. Immediate thumbnail. The Warriors continue to improve game by game in their series versus the Kings outside of Game 6, which we'll just call an outlier because they have bad spacing. I think this Warriors team, similar to the Lakers, is not the team that we saw over the course of the regular season. Gary Payton II, Andrew Wiggins have been huge contributions or additions back into this roster. They are playing with continuity. They are playing with tremendous experience and momentum coming into this series. On the other side, I said that Anthony Davis was the key to that Memphis Grizzlies series. I think the same sort of mentality could potentially apply, but across the board, the Lakers are going to have to rise to the challenge of defending this Warriors' potent offense. Now, as gaudy and privileged and talented as Steph Curry is, there is LeBron James on the other side, and I think his sheer will is going to make this series particularly interesting, but I just wonder about the collective experience if I had to find something to separate the two of these teams, and that advantage goes to the Warriors camp.
What's the biggest difference? Again, Steph and LeBron, the historical rivals. We could talk about that forever, Legs, but what is the biggest difference in this series as it begins tomorrow night?
I think for me, look, defensively, it's going to be an issue for the Lakers. There's no doubt, because I just don't think they've necessarily got the personnel on the perimeter to deal with what you have to with Golden State, off the basketball, where your head has to be on a swivel, and the amount of runs you have to stop, because it's one thing to go on a 10-0 run against Golden State. Like, at no point are they going to be fazed by any situation they find themselves in. You saw what happened with Memphis, particularly in that last game. Once things started to get a little bit sideways, they completely collapsed. That's not going to happen with the Warriors. No matter what their situation they find themselves in, you've got to continue to concentrate for 48 minutes defensively against them. Very few teams have the personnel, the scheme, the game plan to do that, and I don't necessarily think the Lakers do. Having said all of it, if Anthony Davis is the best player in this series, the Lakers have a legitimate shot to win it. So I agree with Monica. He is the key because he is that unique. He's got to be more consistent than he was in the last round to give the Lakers a shot.
That's such a good point. Let's bookmark that and come back to it later in this hour. Because for all the talk about LeBron and all the talk about Steph, the one whose legacy might actually be rewritten in the next 2 weeks is Anthony Davis if he carries the Lakers through this. We'll talk about it much more as we continue. In the meantime, it is time for your morning wake-up call. The best team in hockey history, the Boston Bruins, an overtime shocker.